All right. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about cell references in a bit more detail. So if you guys remember the previous video, which we saw where we discussed about the components of Excels and sheets, we did discuss about cell references as well. But I feel we can discuss this in more detail. It is because cell references is really very important, and if you don't understand it properly, then it is going to give you a tough time. So cell references are basically used in every major formula that you use in terms of VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, X lookups, index and matches, your filter functions. Basically, all these functions use cell references. So it's better that we understand it in a bit more detail. So let's get going. So just to give you a highlight, in the previous video we discussed about the cell references through this example of multiplication. In this example, what we have taken a hypothetical data where there are four resources. These are their base salaries, and these are the percentage of increment. These are the percentage of increment that you're going to give them in the years coming by. Okay, so for resource A, let's calculate the increment that will be happening in the year 2020. Right, so what we need to do is, this is the base salary, and you need to multiply 10% of the base salary. So that is plus the increment percentage multiplied by the base salary, parenthesis closed. There you go. So your figure is absolutely correct, right? So let's say we drag it to 2024, right? Now, before we move, let me talk about this. So let's say whenever you're working with uh, such kind of calculations, and if you see this kind of notifications, so do not panic. It only means that the the content or the data that is there in that cell, it is not fitting. It doesn't fit to this cell size. So whenever you see such kind of notifications, it only means that the data which is there in that cell, it doesn't fit to that cell size. All you need to do is you can double click and it will open up. Okay, so here you see the numbers which are right in front of us, they are very strange. I mean, the 10% of these base salaries will not lead to the numbers which we see over here. So there is some miscalculation, there is some error that we have done in terms of referencing the cells. Okay, so let's go one by one. In the first calculation for 2020, what we have done is we have done the same. So it is taking the base salary, that is D5, that is this one, and it is taking C5 as the cell reference, that is where the percentage is written. That is absolutely fine. In the next, when we are calculating for the year 2021, it is taking the base salary as E5, that is this, which is absolutely fine. And the percentage, it is taking D5, which is this, which is absolutely wrong. So if you see, when we move to further years, so it is taking percentage, the reference of percentage is also moving one after the other. It is because we have not fixed the cell reference. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is, let us just fix the cell reference. All you need to do is you can click on that cell and F4. Okay, so what it has done is it has fixed our cell reference. You don't need to change anything in terms of the base salaries. It is going good for us. Okay, all you need to do is you need to drag it further, and this seems a bit more realistic figures, right? So let's resize it. Okay, that is absolutely fine. Okay, now we need to calculate the salaries for the other three resources as well. So what we can do is we can just drag it down. Okay, so again, what we see is the amount for every percentage is the same, and we know it is not going to be the same. I mean, if For 10%, it is going to be these figures. The below percentage are lesser than 10. So again, there is something that we need to change in terms of references. So become aware. In this case, in the first case, what we have done is we have fixed that cell reference. That is, if you see, there is a dollar sign in before C, and there is a dollar sign before 5 as well. So here C is column and 5 is row. Let me show you again. Okay, I'm sorry. Right. So here what, pardon me. Okay. So C5, C is the column, that is this one, and 5 is the row, that is this one. So what we have done is we have fixed column C5. That means we have completely fixed the reference. So if it is moving in the row 5, it is absolutely fine. It is giving us the desired result. But down the line, it is not the answer that we are looking out for. So what we need to do is we need to fix the column C, but we need to keep the row as unfixed. That is, we have to keep the row as a relative. So in that case, all we need to do is we need to delete the dollar sign. Either you can delete it, or if you press function F4, it will change your references. Show it to you. Let me just select it. Function F4. Pardon me. Yeah, so there you go. So no, this one, no. Yes, this is what we need. Okay. Now we can drag it to here, and we can drag it down the line. So now it is exactly the figure that we need. Okay, now the calculations is absolutely correct. So you might be wondering why I have colored these rows and columns. It is only to make you understand the concept of referencing a bit better. Probably the colors might help you to to understand things in an easier manner. So let's go with the first one. Here I have highlighted the column C11, column C and row 11. So what happens is when you don't have any dollar sign, it simply means that the reference is relative. It can move any side. It can move towards. It can flip to different columns as well, and it can also flip to different rows as well. In this case, where you have a dollar sign in front of your numeric 12, it means that your column D is relative, but your row is fixed. So in this case, what happens is your formula or your formula references can move to E, F, G, H, I, because your column D is relative. Your column is relative, so it can move easily to different columns. But because you have fixed the row 12, it will not be moving down the line. That is, it won't go to 13, 14, 15, and so on. In this case, that is $E13. So what we have done is in this case we have fixed the column E, and the row 13, and the row 13 is relative. So what happens in such case, the references will not be flipping to different columns. That it will not move to F, G, H or further, but it will certainly move to E, 14, 15, 16, and so on. So this referencing is what we have used in our above examples. If you see $C5, C6, C7, even if you move further, C6 remains as it is. And this one is the last example where we have fixed both the column F and row 14. That means in such kind of references, the cell reference will not be flipping either to the columns or even to the rows. So I hope that the details that I have shared in this video with you with regards to the cell referencing will help you to understand the concept of cell references in a much easier manner. Keep learning, keep practicing.
Please like and subscribe the videos. and share it with all of them whom you feel are in need of it. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you remain updated about all the upcoming videos.